Let's be real about it. I mean, I don't really care about how you feel about it. I mean, I don't even really have a real hobby. That's not a real problem, and I still got it. I need a I don't really care about how you feel about it. I mean, I don't even really have a real hobby. It's not a real problem, and I still got it. I need $1 billion. Yeah, I've been in the lab, so I'm not one you see around. Thinking about my goals, so I'm not fun to be around. Now I want the whole field. Ain't no bush to beat around. I take it to the sky, so I don't ever see the ground. Wild call by, you can say I'm in the hunt now. Living out my fantasy, they love it when I touch down. Flyer than a plane or a pelican, I'm up now. Money, true holiday, I'm playing for the Bucks now. I'm out in BK, Steve Nash. I don't see much, man, I only see cash. You can't be mad, you need to relax. And my favorite drug is hustle, I'm about to relapse. I'm getting all this money just from making these apps. Hope they take care of my hood when I'm paying each tax. I'm managing my waist, so they saying he's trash. But they look me up on Google, they be keeping these tabs. Let's be real about it. I mean, I don't really care about how you feel about it. I mean, I don't even really have a real hobby. That's not a real problem, and I still got it. I need $1 billion. Let's be real about it. I mean, I don't really care about how you feel about it. I mean, I don't even really have a real hobby. It's not a real problem, and I still got it. I need $1 billion. Yeah, my balls are infinite. My car's got tents in it. I should get a Tesla and put your chick in it. I should call your mom like I love your chicken dish. So she calls you up and says that K-Von kid's legit. You should look up to him. He can make it hit. I said what's up to him. You can't take that shit. I can't fake that shit.
Hey, Chad, what's good, y'all?
I don't give a damn about who I'm up against. Almost ready to tour and tear the scene up. Working for a quarter century to earn my freedom. Got 100 more years to go. Won't kick my feet up on my
Anita, ¿cuántos dólares necesito, huh? Necesito
I mean, I don't really
billion.
care about how you feel about it. I mean, I don't even really have a real hobby. That's not a real problem, and I still got it. I need $1 billion. Let's be real about it.
Hey,
I mean,
Chad, what's
really
good?
Care about how you feel about it. I mean, I don't even really have
What
a
up,
real
y'all?
hobby. It's not a real problem, and I still got
¿Qué
it.
tal,
I need
amigos y
$1 billion.
amigas?
Yeah, I've been in the lab, so I'm not one you see around. Thinking about my goals,
Y'all got
so
going
I'm not fun
on?
to be around. Now I want the whole field. Ain't no bush to beat around. I take it to the sky, so I don't ever see the ground. Wild call.
Oh, I ain't got no water. Hold on. Necesito agua. Let's pull up our little bit of dashboards. Hey, I told y'all, scared money don't make no money. Scared money don't make no money. I told y'all, scared money don't make no money. Hold on, chat. I gotta get water and then we gotta catch up on the markets. Where we at with it? Where we at with it? Hold on.
That's not a real problem, and I still got it. I need $1 billion. Let's be real about it. I mean, I don't really care about how you feel about it. I mean, I don't even really have a
Greg
real
does
hobby.
deals. Thank you for subbing on YouTube. Top Dog Shred Lord.
Still got it. I need $1 billion. Yeah, my balls are infinite. My cars got.
Hey, chat. Happy freaking Friday, y'all. Happy. And we made it to Friday. And we've been working our asses off, chat. We made it to Friday, though. How the heck we doing, Top Dog Shred Lords? How the heck we doing? Okay, anyway. Markets are down tremendously. Am I tripping? Not at all. Not at all. Hey, we are sitting here waiting for incredible buying opportunities. But right now, the world is kind of in turmoil. We need to catch up real quick. Go to my videos. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. We got to get a sense of what's... Oh, here it is. Here it is, chat. This is what I wanted to pull up for y'all. This is what I want to pull up. All right, we got to catch up real quick, see what's happening. I'm not really an oil guy. But they're talking about oil. Let's see what they're talking about with this oil stuff. Whoa, wait, a U.S. submachine? Oh, I saw that. It sank an Iranian ship off Sri Lanka? Dang. And as a roll call for today, chat, we're going to get a little bit of business, but then I'm going to need to hop on some Mark Raiders. Tonight, chat, so I'm going to text Boogie, tell him to get in the mix.
Brent would likely reach $100 a barrel. Dan joins us now for more. Dan, welcome to the program. Let's just start with storage capacity. How close are we to bumping up against some limits in key markets, key producers across the Middle East?
Yeah, we already hit it in Iraq. And if you sort of look at the 6 key exporters in the Gulf.
Because if you think about like Brent crude, like crude oil prices have literally done nothing over the last, like, call it freaking, it's literally done nothing over the last 3-4 years. Now, suddenly, with a little bit of turmoil, it's been picking up a lot, y'all. So, like, over the last 5 days, 30%. Over the last 5 days, 30%. But as you guys can see, like, let's go to other time periods when there was, like, crazy war. Crude used to be chilling well above 100. What was this up here? What happened in 2022? I think that was, like, the Ukraine. I think that was like peak Ukraine and Russia conflict. But ever since that, the world was at peace, y'all. And crude oil went back down. But now it's low-key going crazy right now. But let's see what they got to say about this. Let's see what they got to say. Apparently, Goldman is some experts. Let's see what they got to say.
Gulf region, we estimate that most of them would hit storage capacity constraints over the next month if the disruptions were to be sustained, with some producers with more limited storage capacity hitting the constraints earlier. And we're talking days, weeks, not months here.
Dan, what kind of workarounds do they have? We mentioned that pipeline in Saudi Arabia. Do others have a similar release valve?
So the 2 significant pipelines are the East-West pipeline from Saudi Arabia, and then you also have the Fujairah pipeline from the UAE. We estimate that if both pipelines operate at full capacity, and if the ports supporting stained, with some producers,
others have a
this
similar release
map there. You see that? What is
valve?
So the 2 significant pipelines are the East-West pipeline from Saudi Arabia, and then you also have the Fujairah pipeline from the UAE. We estimate that if both pipelines operate at full capacity, and if the ports supporting the transportation of the barrels once they're out of the pipeline to the rest of the world, if all that infrastructure is intact, we estimate around 3.6 million barrels per day of extra pipeline spare capacity beyond what you usually do. That's helpful, but that still leaves roughly 17 million barrels per day of supply at risk. And at the moment, the data we're tracking suggests that the Fujairah pipeline is still not running at full capacity. And you're seeing the spillovers to supply chains. In fact, the ships that need to pick up the barrels in the Fujairah port are reportedly running out of marine fuel, because the marine fuel typically comes via the strait. Other vulnerabilities are attacks on pipelines, attacks on ports. So this could be a partial offset, but it is vulnerable and fragile on its own in an environment with elevated physical risks.
Given all of that, Dan, I'm surprised that you just have $100 a barrel for your target in the next 5 weeks should the Strait of Hormuz continue to be closed. Qatar's energy minister came out and said that he would expect it to be $150 a barrel in the next couple of weeks if the Strait of Hormuz does not open up. Why just $100?
Yeah, so I think the upside to that number is meaningful. I think in that scenario.
My thing though, chat, is why is it that we're seeing incredible AI names pull back like this, and it's got like nothing to do with it, right? All right, so that's that. What about SNDK? Bro, this has literally nothing to do with oil, bro. It's got nothing to do with oil. Is there, bro? There has to be some. Oh, CJ, what up, top dog? There's something to be said that, like, fundamentally, this has been an incredible opportunity to deploy capital. Let me throw my phone somewhere. I'm sorry, Chad, we got emails like crazy. There has to be something to be said that, like, over the course of conflicts globally, let's show Google Finance. We're gonna go to Google Finance and we're gonna look at the SPY. SPY is a standard. And look, I say this every single time. Though. That is true. Everything is dependent on oil. Oil is like a key input to a lot of different things. But it's like that pass through of like oil price increases impacting margins on businesses. That's like, come on. Really? Like in today's environment? I don't really know. I don't know that anymore. And CJ, hope you're doing well, my man. But what I will say though is that if you look over the very, very, very long-term history, very, very, very long-term history of capital markets, right? There have been a considerable amount of dips related to conflicts. Let's see if there's anything on here. Compare, how do I add war? Can I add war to this? What were the most notable geopolitical conflicts that caused a temporary dislocation in the markets? Okay? I just want you guys just to see what happened here. All right? Okay. The most notable one, realistically, is Russia invasion of Ukraine in 2022. So let's go in 2022. Let's do the 5-year period. 2022. When did that happen? That happened. Keep calm and carry on. Decline all, hold on. Oh, here we go. Oh, wait, this is a really good piece right here. Black Mamba Trader, what up, Top Dog Shredlord? How you doing, man? You made a lot of money on futures? Dude, Black Mamba, you gotta remember, I'm a Buffett-trained value investor. What do these mean? What the heck what do these mean, bro? Plain English for me. Please, put it in plain English, bro. Okay. Anyway, keep calm and carry on. The geopolitical effects on markets prove extremely temporary. The latest, here we go. We're going to look at this together. Read this together, chat. Oh, oil futures. How'd you know when to buy it, though? Like, as soon as the conflict broke out, you bought oil futures? All right, here we go. Latest attacks on Iran and its retaliatory strikes across the region led to a sell-off in global markets. While still volatile, many assets have been rebounded off their recent lows. History shows that stock markets recover after such shocks, and the best outcome to maximize eventual returns is to remain invested. Ooh, hold on, city boys. Let me get y'all right. Okay, this appears to be despite this information flows. Give me some history. Okay. In this situation, Iran's ability to control the Strait of Hormuz means it can influence the global economy. Approximately 20% of the world's oil and 90% of the oil destined for Asian markets passes through the straits. And do we know what the straits are? The straits of Hormuz. I want to show you guys this on a map. This is the Straits of Hormuz, right? This right here is the Strait of Hormuz, y'all. That little tippy part right there. This right here. This is the Strait of Hormuz. And it says that 20% of the world's oil, 20% of the global world's oil flows through that strait. So globally, we're hedged. But for Asian businesses, 90% of the oil destined for Asian markets passes through that. So if you want to be a little bit concerned and think about that inflation impact on underlying like COGS for operating businesses, Asian businesses are going to get hit first. Industrial and heavy machinery businesses, those are going to be hit first. All right? Now, you got to understand what's happening here. Let's get the history of the markets. So, in the days following the Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the U.S. S&P 500 fell more than 7%. During the first 2 weeks, oil prices rose 40%. Natural gas prices rose 180%, according to the European Central Bank. Yet, 4 years on, with the conflict still outgoing, both the U.S. and European stock markets, the latter severely affected at the time due to the halt of Russian energy supplies, remain within touching distance of their all-time highs. Right? Okay. Fear index, boom. Okay, this is what I needed. So here are multiple different points of... Jalen, I don't really know, bro. Bro, I hope you're saving, bro, and investing in index funds. Don't be trading stuff. But I don't know. Guys, do you know? I really don't know where to trade futures and stuff like this. Black Mamba, do you know? Where can you trade futures and stuff? And let it be put on record, Jalen. I'm not saying do it, but they know. Chat knows where to put your dollars. I don't really know, man. Okay. So, this shows like the history of run-up in SP performance ahead of the conflict. The day that it happens, a little bit of sell-off and scare for like normally the first 10 to 20 days, okay? And then it proceeds literally to rip. The one thing that was kind of like notable is the dot-com crash. There was like no real rebound of the dot-com crash. The global financial crisis, we turned up. The oil crisis, we turned up. The global financial COVID, bro, we went crazy. We went crazy post-COVID. Black Monday, I don't even know what was Black Monday? Is Black Money? What the heck is Black Money? I don't even know what's prop money? What's a prop account? Bro, buy index funds. Jesus Christ. Guys, we did it yesterday. We did it yesterday, guys. You're making me do it today. We did it yesterday. Class is now in session, okay? Welcome to Shredlord University. Class is now in session. Please open up your books. Open up your books to page 165. We're going to open up our books to page 165, chat. Let me know when you guys are there. Let me know when we are in chapter 5, ladies and gents. We are in chapter 5, guys. Chapter 5, popcorn time. Popcorn, CJ, read this with us, please. CJ, you mind reading this section for us? Okay, I'm gonna act like I'm CJ. So, chapter 5, page 165, chat. Let me know when you're there. Say aye. Okay. It says in the first paragraph, active portfolio managers, people that actively buy and sell stocks, active portfolio managers, they argue by virtue of their superior stock picking skills, they can outperform an index fund. Active portfolio managers actually believe that they can beat an index fund. But, and chat, hear me out, but there is history that shows index funds are superior. Now, popcorn to Black Mama Trader, okay? This is your part, you have to read it. It says, the latest statistics reveal that over a 3-year period, 79% of active investors, people that buy and sell regularly, underperform an index fund. 79% of active investors underperform an index fund over a 3-year period. Next, 88%. I'm reading this fresh off a book. Chat, I'm reading this fresh off a book. I'm reading this fresh off a dang book. All right? Chat, it says 88% underperform over a 5-year period. And now, Richard, your turn. Richard says 93% underperform over a 10-year period. Must I remind you guys every single day? If you want to be a billionaire, if you want to make money in the real markets, and you're not CJ, CJ's in that top 7%. Y'all not. Maybe Black Mama Trader. But I know for me and Richard, we definitely not in the top 7%. But if y'all want $1 billion, y'all better be buying index funds. Anyways, chat, how y'all doing, man? I just wanted to start the stream off by saying, don't be no little wussy and scared to sell off your assets because the market's crashing. It's the great buying opportunity. And it's a great buying opportunity of what? Index funds. Index funds. You know what I'm saying, chat? Index funds. Like, let's see what we got. The SPY. SPY has been on absolute fire over the last year, 17%. Markets normally don't go crazy like that. The average return of an index fund is around 10%. So we're already outperforming significantly historical averages. But just recently, you got a little bit of a dip in index fund. You're about to get some alpha just by entering the most diversified asset in the world. Chat, it doesn't get better than this. I woke up every single day smiling when I saw the red. Why? Because I have no intention to sell any of the assets that I own for years. Google is my largest holding. I'm not selling that for 30 years. Why do I care what happens in March 2026? If anything, I'm buying more, chat. I'm buying more. Right? Look at this. Look at this. Because look at the long-term trajectory. Look at the last 16 years. Look at the last 26 years. Look at the last 30, 40 years. That's the narrative. That's the narrative, chat. Anyway, what y'all got up, y'all? What y'all got up going on these days? What y'all got going on these days? This is actually a really good piece. This is a really good piece. I was looking for something that like summarized it well, and this summarized this perfectly well. And this just shows that like history does very much repeat itself. I don't view this conflict with Iran as a de novo conflict. I do not view this as a de novo conflict. I think that we as a society and a world have realized that conflicts are somewhat normal, especially when you have tension, geopolitical, relationships. Wars happen. This isn't. We don't live in a fantasy world. It's shown, and we now have the beauty of history behind us to showcase that this stuff happens, not in a routine cycle, but when it does happen, there is data points to showcase that post XYZ conflict, there's a lot of things that happen really well for the markets. You know what I'm saying? So I just find it to be very compelling that, I don't know, things like this is just what's so funny though, chat, is so many investors ignore history, right? I think that's a fault. I think if I were to paint the picture of what some of the worst investors in the world do, we all know what the best investor in the world do, but if I were to paint the picture of what the worst investor in the world does, they ignore historical patterns. They actively buy and sell because of the social pressures. And when I say social pressures, it's kind of can you sit in a room full of people actively doing things and do nothing? Hear me out. Say, for example, the entire stock market operated in one building, the New York Stock Exchange. Let's just assume that for instance. We're in the ancient historical days. If you wanted to buy an asset, you had to go execute in the New York Stock Exchange. Let's say that, for example. But when you go to the New York Stock Exchange, you get to see all of the global activity of everyone else. When you go there, you'll see that 99% of everyone there is doing something. They're buying something. They're selling something. They're actively trading. They're actively investing. But can you go in a market environment like that and do absolutely nothing? Can you go to a rave and stand still? Right? That's what really good investors have to do. Really bad investors, as soon as they get into the mix, as soon as they get there and see other people vibing out, having fun, dancing and moving, they feel like they need to do it too. It really often leads to either average or underperformance. Because if you are going to do everything that everyone else is doing, and if you're going to act off of not conviction and data and analysis, but instead off of noise, you're going to get the same reaction that the rest of the market gets, if not worse, because you're making a bad play. What you guys say? Hey, Day Zero Investor, how you doing, top dog? I have a chart for you. Day Zero Investor. here's month 0 of when an event happened, and here's the few months that go after that specific event, and then what happens to the markets a few months down the road, a few, like, you know, 1 quarter, half a year, full year. But he said, to be honest, I'm more worried about the future heightened regulatory burden on the big companies I'm invested in more than the Iranian war. What kind of regulation? I don't know what companies you're invested in, but is it like AI regulation? Are you in industrials? Are you in consumer goods? Are you in technology? What's some like your biggest positions? Chat, spam in the comments on YouTube what some of your highest conviction, biggest conviction names are. You can't know how this conflict resolves. You touched oil and pissed off other dependent countries. Geopolitics comes with experience. This might take a bit of patience. Absolutely. Guys, this very much, chat, can end up being as long as, what was the other war we had? Iraq. Like, didn't we have a war with Iraq? Something like that? Like after 9/11. What was that war called? It could be as long as that. Let's see, world's longest wars. It was the war in Iraq, right? Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, maybe not this. World's longest U.S. wars. Yeah, the war in Afghanistan. It went 20 years. But you know what also happened since 2021? Or 2020 to 2021? So if we were to just like understand the war in Afghanistan, but also like if we were to buy, when did the war in Afghanistan start? Let's say January 2021, right? And we were to hold it all the way until 2021, we still would have been up 200-something%. You know what I'm saying? And ancient artifacts for the Rothschilds. That sounds like a Tomb Raider. It sounds like a Tomb Raider mission. Right? So even though we had the world's longest war of the war in Afghanistan, right? And we were to buy it during that moment of fear and uncertainty, and we were to go through the recession, and we were to also go through COVID. Chat, we would have still been sitting on a 3x of our investment, 300% return, right? That's not bad. That's still sitting at like almost 15% plus CAGR. Through the world's longest war, through the global financial crisis, and through the world's scariest healthcare, COVID, right? So y'all gotta keep calm. Y'all gotta keep calm, top dog shredlords. Hey, and like I said, scare money don't make no money, bro. Especially, this is from all my degens that like to buy single assets, all right? Especially if we got a watch list. Where's our chat capital watch list? Especially if we got a chat capital watch list full of like super high conviction names. Look at this, everything's red, pretty much. But we got high conviction names that are sitting in the AI, memory, optics, niche, and value chain. You're trying to tell me that, let's call it, I don't know, I don't want to pick a name. Let's pick maybe, I don't know, SanDisk, SNDK. You're trying to tell me, or Micron, Micron's better. You're trying to tell me from Micron, one of the most mission critical memory providers of the entire AI value chain thesis. You're trying to tell me, chat, that once the coverage of the war in Iran, the coverage of the crude, the normalization of the stock market, and kind of like the bottoming out of this season, which might happen in the next 0 to 20 months. You have to be patient in that horizon. You're trying to tell me that something like this that's so critical at a supply choke point is not gonna rip? Guys, it literally went to the moon 200, 300x in a year in a normal business environment. What do you think is gonna happen when you get a little bit of a dip? AI is not stopping because of this. Like this does not stop AI growth. I'll tell you that for sure. Like this does not stop consumption of, I'm still using Claude. We spent all stream last night learning Claude code. That used up a bunch of credits or tokens, whatever it's called, right? I was generating whole websites that I stored, right? That's still used up memory. People are still doing brain rot on TikTok and Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just like very much still a clear need, you guys. A very clear need for some of these things. So, I don't know about y'all, but this is kind of what we needed a little bit. Because you got to admit, asset prices were a little inflated. Asset prices were going crazy. Hey, the markets were good. We were eating good off the markets. And we've been getting a little greedy. We need a little bit of a setback, you know, to see who's real and who's not. We needed to see who's got that sauce or not. You know what I'm saying? So I personally, chat, I have a healthy cash position. My largest asset in my portfolio is a private cash flowing business. Soon. And I am patiently, eagerly waiting. And I'm a net buyer in this. And this is not investment advice. It's just educational purposes. I'm a net buyer in this. Hey, Sween Say 25. How you doing, Top Dog? Thanks for the follow on Twitch. What you got for me, dude? Hey, man, do you think I should be starting an internship as soon as possible? Let's see. Hold on. Hey, man, do you think I should start an internship as soon as possible? I'm in my sophomore year of computer science in college, but I'm already qualified to work. Sorry if I was being intrusive. Hey, there's not a single question that anyone could put in this chat that could feel too intrusive, man. That's the point of this stream, dude, is to get smart money moves and smart career moves. I think the best thing you can do, champ, is I highly recommend exploring externships or free internships where you're unpaid for your first freshman or sophomore year summers of school. And this goes to anybody that's like in university. If you're not in university, try to get into the trades. You don't need a degree to get a trade certificate in plumbing, HVAC, elevator maintenance, all those kind of things. Because in reality, I don't want to scare you, Swinse, but the demand characteristics is we need more tradespeople than we do need computer science people. That's just a fact. But if you're in your second semester of computer science, you're in your first semester of computer science, of high school or college, I assume, you want to just start building your resume. And the best way you can start building your resume, if you're that early and you're not a senior and you're not trying to like graduate right now, hit up all of these local small businesses, hit up local MSP companies, IT service companies, let them know about your computer science background, or these AI agencies, and let them know your computer science background, and try to add value by doing some work and supporting them, and then get that value creation experience on your resume. And I would just try to make sure that you can articulate on your resume that, hey, I have a skill in this computer science. I applied it to this niche. I unlocked value for these clients or these customers. And I went back to school and I did it again for another summer. And now I'm credible and ready to like do other things. That's how we'll play ball. That's definitely how I will play ball. Yeah. Hey guys, I tell you one thing. Black Mama Trader is like absolutely correct. Never try to time the market. Never try to time the market. It just absolutely never works. It never works. Who would have timed? Who would have? Hey, you know what's funny? People probably were sitting on the sidelines trying to wait to buy into Nvidia. They saw that Nvidia missed out on like future guidance for earnings, and they were like, "Oh, Nvidia fell 3% today. I'm gonna time the market. I'm gonna buy now." Boom. 3 days later, there's a war. Like, no one can time the market. It's just really not possible. And if someone says that they can, they're straight cap. They're straight cap. Juan Money. Hey, Juan, you trying to get that money, huh? How do you get into private businesses like that? First and foremost, you need to be a subscriber on my YouTube channel. That's my whole ethos as a YouTube creator, is private businesses and private equity. But there's a bunch of other ones, man. If you want, I'll find you a business right now here on stream. Tell me a state, and we'll find you a business. And tell me a budget, like under 100,000, under 10,000, under $1 million. Tell me a budget. We'll find you a business. I'll show you how simple it is. It's not simple. It's a very hard process. The deal that I'm closing now, it literally took me 1 full year of diligence and negotiations, and it's still not closed. I'm a few days away, but it's taken over my entire life, yo. I'm in the trenches off stream. Yeah. Oh, you're a high schooler? Oh, dude, let me show you something. If you're in high school, well, first and foremost, Juan, if you're in high school, shout out to you for watching the streams like this, man. If you're in high school, make it a daily habit to look at businesses on this. Biz by Sell. I'm not sponsored, by the way. And let's just say, for example, you lived in Texas. For some reason, all my subs live in Texas, right? Let's say you lived in Texas and you wanted to find something that's under 250,000. I'm gonna give you 2 routes. Juan Money. This is gonna change your life. All right. First step, you try to find an amazing window cleaning business or anything that's like service oriented that everyone needs to do. What does everyone need to do? They need to have clean windows. They need to have HVAC. They need to have plumbing. They need to have clean water. They need to have maintenance and landscaping. They need to have clean facilities. Businesses like that exist everywhere. And what's crazy is most of those are owned by people in their 50s and 60s that are trying to retire, and they have nobody to pass the businesses down to. So whether we are at war or not, people need to get their windows cleaned. Whether we are at war or not, people need to have a clean facility if they work in the education world or services space or healthcare space. So you might as well explore getting into some of these cash flowing recurring revenue businesses. I like window cleaning. What else do I like? What else you like, Kenny Finance? I like drug testing. That's a good one. That's like regulatory mandated as well. Be careful with the vending machine ones. Like if you're gonna do a vending machine, ones like this that are focused on water, they're actually pretty good. Oh, you see my videos of cleaning up accidents? Hey, I'm glad you've seen those videos. Wait, shut at the front door. I never knew anything about investing until a few months ago from your YouTube. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And guys, we recorded some banger videos this week, actually, that are, we're getting back into the long form game, guys. Kayvon yelled at me, and now I got to get back to making YouTube videos. But we got some more long forms coming out. We recorded those today. I'm about to go crazy. Hey, I appreciate you subbing. I don't know how to say your name, but I'm going to say thank you, God bless you, and I appreciate you subbing to the channel. Home improvement, solar panel cleaning. This is a banger business. All these solar panels, renewable energy, the stuff doesn't work if it's dirty, bro. So you need to have somebody cleaning it. The only thing that I'm wary of is that these are, they've only been around for 2 years. So I'm not a buyer of these because they haven't seen a recession yet. You know what I'm saying? But these are like essential services that you need to do. You know what I'm saying? You got to clean these things. Did you ever get into or want to get into venture capital in your career? Nah. Well, I wanted to at one point. And it was a FOMO thing. I've always been old, mature private equity. Like I'd done some deals that were growth equity, but these were like mature businesses that were like series D, E, F, like big companies. But like most of the deals I've done, and most of my career has been like mature businesses, 20, 30 plus years old, cash flowing, private equity buying majority ownership of those businesses. And venture capital is different. For those that don't know the difference, venture capital focuses on investing in early stage and startup companies. Now, back in 2020 and 2021, there was a craze happening in my industry where a lot of like super young, ambitious, and connected people left their jobs to start their own venture capital firms. And you had people in their 20s, early 30s that were principals or like partners leaving and being founders of their own funds, raising $50 million funds, $100 million funds. And it's like, guys, if you have your own venture fund, that means that you raise $100 million and you get to invest in these cool startups. It's not intellectually that demanding because like these companies don't have any operating history. So it's just simply relationships and betting on a market and doing diligence on the management team. And I say that as it compares to private equity. I'm not saying VC is not intellectually difficult. I'm saying it's not as difficult as private equity. That's a fact, right? And it was just like, it's like a crazy money grab. And I was like, dang, why am I sitting here building these 300 tab models when I got people my age out here starting venture funds? Then God blessed me by keeping me in private equity. Because look at the Qs. If you look at the Qs, y'all, this was the hype. So everybody, like post-COVID around here, everybody's starting a fund. Markets were crushing it. And then boom, valuations hit. So many funds were raised up to this point. Like so many funds were raised up to this point. And then as soon as that happened, crazy pullback in tech in valuations. And like venture capital still hasn't woken up from it yet. Those same folks that were raising funds, I think more than half of them have not been able to raise a second fund, meaning that like they're on their way to becoming like bankrupt or shut down. So I'm very blessed that I didn't jump into VC space. But now with my holding company, I was able to start my own doing something that I love, which is private equity. And we're buying operating businesses, right? We're buying something that's recession resilient, 40% plus cash flow margins. And now it's like we're our own boss, but we can have as much fun as we want with it, chat. Like, I don't know if you guys know like the video game-esque like playbook I have, but it's like, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear this song. But like, when you have a holding company, that's the ultimate setup. Like that's the Berkshire Hathaway model. So you have private businesses on one side that generate cash flow. You can choose to do a handful of things with that cash flow. The first thing is reinvest into that business, hire more people, get more technology to make that existing business even more profitable. Or you can buy more private companies. Instead of buying a engineering business, I can now buy an architecture business, or I can buy a legal business or an accounting business or a laundromat, whatever. Or if private businesses are not really attractive and there's not a good one right now, I can buy public stocks. So the stuff on our watch list at Chat Capital, I can build conviction and buy a handful of those names, or I can buy index funds. Or I can invest in VC and startups if I wanted to, right? Like it's like now that I've kicked off the waterfall of just like institutional holdco cash flow, we can pick anything in the entire world that has a high return on invested capital. Like if it just so happens that there's like a great return in buying apartments in Barcelona, in Airbnb them out, I'm gonna do it. If it shows that there's like if I get a banger allocation to a incredible startup that's serving a boring niche and revolutionizing technologies, the next Uber, I can do that. I wouldn't want to, but like I could if I wanted to. Or if it's just like I need to make sure that I'm getting as much dollars as I can into some of these AI memory names, optic names, cabling names, data center names, I can do that, right? To where now like my job, I'm not a private equity investor anymore. I'm not a VC investor. I'm not a hedge fund, bro. I am simply a capital allocator, right? People ask me all the time, what do you do? I just allocate capital. I'm an investor, pretty much. I'm just an investor, right? Like that's the playbook. That's what I was like designing for. Capital allocator. Hey, the Black Mama Trader, you want to start a VC? You know what I'm saying? It's sick, guys. It's sick. And it's for me personally, I've been very blessed. Guys, I've been very blessed my entire career. I've saved, you guys don't understand how much I saved. People in my industry, bro, they live like little princes and princesses. They don't take Ubers to go to the airport. They rather fly a airplane to go from Manhattan to Queens to get to the airport. You know what I mean? They try to fly private. They rent penthouses and all that stuff. They just burn like crazy. 80 to 90% of my income, my entire career, I've saved. Like after I take care of my main expenses like rent, food, and car, and take care of my family, I've saved everything. And that was a blessing that allowed for me to bootstrap this holding company. So now I own 100% of Dreamline Holdings, which is my own holding company. And now we own multi-million-dollar companies, or tentatively. They told us we're going to close on Friday, so I don't know, right? But it's like, that's the playbook. You find a career or a job that you like, and you can learn, and that you get earnings. And it could be an hourly job. It could be McDonald's. It could be a banker. It could be a real estate, any job. Have any job in the world that pays you income. And then after that, you save as much money as you can from your job. I mean, you live in the dirt cheap apartment while you're building. You move back in with your parents while you're building. You eat ramen and freaking sardines while you're hustling, so that every single dollar that you can put into a savings fund, you can put into index funds, and that you can force function your way to build up cash. That's the playbook, chat. Like, the playbook is, let me put on my song for this. The playbook is, chat. The playbook is, bro. Hey, I appreciate you, though. I appreciate you following us. Spin 25. I appreciate that, dog. We're live here every single day, man. So if you ever want some smart money content, you know where to find us, bro. And we're new to the whole streaming world, so I appreciate your support, man, even though we're small. Like, guys, literally do anything that you can to just get some source of income. I don't care if you have to DoorDash. I don't care if you have to buy a lawnmower and lawn every single lawn in your neighborhood. I don't care if you have to freaking do whatever you got to do. Do whatever you got to do to earn a living, to take care of yourself, your living, to take care of your family. But then be very, very cautious to live below your means, like Richard said in the chat. Living below your means. If you're in your 20s and you're paying $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 for an apartment, why? If you don't have kids, if you don't have a pet, if you don't have a whole freaking community that's living in the place, why would you need something that expensive? Why do you know what I mean? What is so wrong with moving? Like, I think enough men don't consider this, but it's like, what's so wrong with moving back in with your parents if you can? You know what I'm saying? What's so wrong with having roommates? Like, if you have this much conviction in your dreams, if you have this much conviction in your dreams that, like, over the long haul, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, you're going to crush it commercially, what is 6 to 12 months of you swallowing your pride, living somewhere rent-free, working your butt off for 20 hours a day, and stacking cheese? Every single thing you get, you put it into a savings fund. Once you have your emergency savings lined up, everything on top of that goes into an index fund. And you rinse and repeat that every day for 6 months, for 12 months, for 2 years. Day zero investor, what if you have a girl? Bro, that's the most important piece. She's either going to respect that or she's going to distract that. She will respect it if she also has conviction in your dreams. She will multiply what Richard said, what you are trying to build. The right woman, the right one, if you guys are like adults and you're like in your 20s and everything, the right one will be like, you know what? I believe in what you're working on. Let's get an apartment. Let's split the rent. I'm going to work another job. I'm going to cover the rent. I'm going to cover the rent, right? I got you. I got you for this first year while you're building this. You want to know why? Because I believe in you so much. This is pennies to what you're going to make in the next 10 years. This is pennies what you're going to make in the next 10 years. That's what the right girl would say. You know what I'm saying? The right girl will be like, you know what? Honestly, my parents have a cabin that we can just stay in for free for a year while we just build this out, while we build your foundation, while we build your MVP, or while we get your inventory, or while we get your designs right. You know what I'm saying? She will use whatever she can at her disposal to help you multiply what you're building. But if you're in a building season and you're dating somebody and they're just like, why can't you take me out on a date? Why do you have to work so hard? Why do we have to live in this area? Why do we have to live with in your mom's basement? That's not the right one. That's not the right one. She's distracting you, chat. And I'm not trying to say, look, we got a lot of light skins in this chat. See, y'all some lover boys, right? But what I will say, though, is it's very evident. It is very evident when someone enters your life and they have a multiplier effect. Things you do they start to flow better. They start to grow faster. They start to multiply quicker. But then it's also incredibly obvious when there's a destroyer in your life. You start to have more doubt. Things are just confusing, unnecessary headaches and havoc. That's when it's just like, you know what? They don't play a season in this. Like, they don't play an episode in this season. They don't have a role here. You gotta be vicious with your focus and your time and your circle. Like, I made this live stream simply to have like a community of builders, because I am in the most critical building season of my life. I spend more time with the stream community, my freaking shred lords, than I do with some friends that I've made and I've been with for 5, 10 plus years. Why? Because you guys are more of multipliers of what I'm building in my life than certain friends and family. You get me? Selecting your camp when it's championship season is mission critical. You need to be surrounded by people that are encouraging you to dream bigger than you possibly can, go harder than you've ever been, be more disciplined than you've ever been. You need to have nothing but an abundance mindset. And if anybody is putting a little bit of like doubt into your mindset, get rid of them. For the season, they will be okay. They will be fine, right? If you don't see your boys at the bar for 6 months, they're gonna be okay. Because after you're done building, you can go back and say, hey, they're still gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why people are like, I don't know why, like, I'm telling y'all, like, this generation, bro, this is like a little ounce of inconvenience and they want to give up on their passions. A little bit of a rough patch in the road and they want to turn around. It's like they see a shinier object down on a different path and they want to jump to that. Like, no, stick to the main freaking mission, bro. Stick to the main mission. And Juan Money, I'm saying this generation, you know it. Because it has not been easier in the entire world to run people over that aren't about this life. I don't care if it's your generation, my generation, boomers. Broadly, the benchmark is low. Builders ain't building like that no more. You know what I'm saying? Like they ain't got it like that, bro. Keep in mind. I'm not trying to like tote my boat and everything, right? Think about where the world is right now of like intellectual consumption and stimulation. Like if you guys ever go and just see what people are consuming or reading, that'll kind of give you an indication of what they care about and what they're working on and working towards. The amount of people that are watching brain rot, the amount of people that are like watching streamers, for example, right? This whole streaming world now, that are like doing very bad, negative, dumb things. The fact that like Kick has a platform, that just showcases that that's a market of people to, in my opinion, run them over. Right? Run them over. Because if it's a zero-sum game, and if there's money to be made out there, bro, I'd be damned if I let a Kick streamer beat me and what I'm trying to build. Like, you guys seen my streams. I'm on day 65 of this stuff. We've grown 64 days in a row. Like, straight institutional stuff. Guys, I am not lying when I tell you this. I am taking things that are institutional, gate-kept stuff in the top hedge funds in the world, the top private equity funds in the world, and I'm just giving away for free. Bro, I'm just giving away for free. Because I have belief that there are some dogs out there. I have a belief that there are some dogs out there. And I want to equip you as Shredlord soldiers to kick ass, get the bag, and run everyone else over. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, bro, it's just like, in a world, at least in the finance entertainment niche, in a world full of people that are selling crypto meme coins, bro, body them. Bro, body them. They don't deserve to they don't deserve to be as wealthy as you guys are gonna be. That's my opinion. They don't deserve to be as wealthy as you guys are gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like they do not deserve to live as abundant of a life that you guys are gonna live. Why? Because you guys are doing it the right way, the boring way, the long way. Literally, who the heck is up here doing what we're doing of like looking at freaking 10Ks of businesses, going to the investor relations of top companies, going to 10Ks of businesses, reading things like this. Remember this one that we looked at? Shout out to who gave us this rec? Someone gave us this rec. It was Rich Topic. Rich Topic gave us this business to look at, right? Reading the 10K of Top Build and understanding how impressive of a business this is. You know what I mean? Understanding the cash flow statements of companies. Guys, literally, and this is the behavior that I like to build. The only people in the world doing this on or off stream are multi-billion-dollar hedge funds. Plus you guys, the 3 to 5 people that join my streams. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, who else is doing that? Nobody. Like, who else is doing that? But then you go here and we looked at their presentation together, and we looked at their Investor Day presentation, and they gave us straight game around where the growth thesis is if we want to buy a roofing business. And let me show you guys. I can say this, right? But let me tell you guys like how critical this is. Let me tell you guys how critical this is. One of my friends, one of the top investors in the world, left his job to start his own fund/private equity job to buy boring businesses similar to me. He hits me up today and he's like, Kenny, I'm looking at a roofing business. What do you think about this? Literally, he called me today, right? And he was like, what do you think about a roofing business? Even he, who spent 10 years in the game, even he did not even know about Top Build, right? I put him on game and I was like, yo, on my stream actually like a month ago, we dove into the whole roofing market. We talked about what it takes to build a best-in-class roofing business. We understood the unit economics between the residential roofers versus the commercial roofers. We showed how like these companies like Top Build are crushing it with strong margins and focuses on inorganic growth. Like now, you guys that were watching those streams have a leg up intellectually across some of my peers, and I have the most elite circle in the world. You got a leg up on my peers that are looking at buying businesses, and you guys know what to do better than some of these folks. I caught him up because that's my freaking boy, but it's just like, you know, cherish this, guys. This is like real stuff out here. So it's like, look, you guys have the intellect, you guys have the knowledge to like go out there and like crush it. I'm talking crush it, guys. So don't be discouraged when you like see markets collapsing and all the gurus are yelling and boom, boom, boom. Don't be fooled when you see people selling courses on things and all that. It's just like, bro, you know, like, bro, just lock in, read things, learn things, get the freaking bag, bro. You know what I'm saying? Those who make big dollars never look back, bro. Meme coin millionaires, classic pyramid. Nah. That stuff's all cap, bro. Y'all know my philosophy. Y'all know my philosophy. This content is simply for educational purposes. This content is to fuel my future ego. It is literally that is it. This content is here to fuel my future ego for when my grandkids ask me, what did it take to build? What did it take to get this lifestyle that we have right now? I can point them to in 2026. I want you guys to look at every single stream that we had. It's on YouTube. It's public. I don't want them to see how locked in I was, what I was consuming, who I surrounded myself by, what I was investing in, what I was buying, what I was saying no to. This is simply to document my life. This is not to make money at all. And guys, when I tell you this is not a flex. YouTube money does not compare at all to what being a holding company, private equity, like real mogul will make. It's pennies relative to it. Right? It is simply for educational purposes for you guys. And it's also to have a proof, like a real track record for my kids and my grandkids to be like, what did it take to be a freaking boss? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's why all the dollars we make from chat, I literally put into investment fund for us, for chat capital. Like I don't sell anything, chat. It's to show you guys and make you guys feel like you have some skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? How did you get started into this? Bro, I was dirt freaking poor, bro. We had no money as a family. Like if you were to add up the net worth of like our family at the time when I was like younger, bro, it was like almost equivalent to that dollar amount you guys see on the bottom right. So I was like, my back was against the wall. And I was like, I am either going to sit here and dwell in these circumstances or I'm going to boss the F up. One or the other. I made the right choice. And then I just never gave up. Never gave up. You know what I'm saying? I remained consistent in my old path, which was just like getting a job, getting to a good school. And that to me was the only pathway that worked. It doesn't need to be that way. Like in that season of my life, my only solutions were to go to a college and get a job in private equity. That's what I thought my only path was. Now, you guys live in a world where it's like, if you have similar circumstances where your back is against the wall, the world is your oyster. Like if you guys are like in a similar season where it's just like, you got to make it, the world is your oyster now. You don't need a university. You don't need college. You barely need high school. You need the internet and a device, or you need access to a public library that has an internet and a laptop, and you can just make things happen. You can just learn things that can give you skill sets that can last you generations. Bro, it's never been a greater time in the whole world, bro. It's never been a greater time in the whole world. You know? Your mom has a lot of stuff that she's taking care of. So you want to help Mr. Prado as well? Hey, Juan, I'm praying, bro. Juan, hear me when I'm saying this? I'm praying for nothing but abundance for you and your mom. I'm hoping that like you drastically transform your circumstances after you graduate high school, bro. It's just like, dude, how would you go back then? If I were a 10th grader, right now, and I don't know if these are circumstances, but if I were a 10th grader right now, I was in school, I did not have, and I came from a lower income family, and I did not have access to like trust fund or like any of those things or like really fancy devices and all that, I would do my best in school, because I still think for certain people from certain communities, college is a great gateway to institutionally leveling up your family. I think it's a really, it just the right degree works. I wouldn't go to college and try to chase your passions. Don't like, I'm gonna give you guys the harsh truth. Like if you come from nothing and you try to go to college and you try to study philosophy, you try to study music, you try to study all that, it's just like, you could work out, but like the odds stacked against you. Do something that pays, right? Find something in business, find something in engineering, find something in the medical field. You know what I'm saying? So find something that pays, and just like fundamentally you have to do, lock that in. Every single day after school, I would go to the library. I'll work on my test prep. There's a lot of public resources to get your test prep, so you have really great scores when it comes to ACTs and SATs. So you want to get into a good school. You want great grades, good placement, so you can get to a good school, because that unlocks your network. That unlocks the base mark of your vision. If you go to an average school, your vision is going to be drastically influenced by the quality of people at that school. But if you go to a school that has a mix of socioeconomic classes, that has super wealthy people there, super talented people there, have global geniuses there, you will be exposed to that and you will be influenced by that. All right? So don't choose a school for a party. Choose a school so that you can be the dumbest and the poorest person in the room. By default, you're going to level up. You know what I'm saying? Like by default, you're going to level up. So when you choose a college, try to find a college that you are going to be the dumbest and the poorest person there. Because by default, you are going to level up to the mean and the average of the network you build, the friends you build, the classes you're in, the study groups you're in, the seminars you're in. It is going to be insane. And then you can self-select to like be in like certain investment clubs. You can be in certain intellectual clubs, right? And where you're just building relationships with people that have a drastically different lifestyle than you, that have access to drastically different sources than you, that have dreams that are like 10 times than what you ever thought was possible, right? So I would do that. In your free time, I will be going all in on understanding AI to unlock my own personal productivity, to try as many businesses as I can, have them fail, but then also keep a camera on me. You can start with your iPhone and your iPhone headphones, and I will record one piece of content every single day. So that way you're building your career and educational foundation with your school and your job that you get. You are building passive income streams that will last you 10 plus years and potentially the rest of your life, with side businesses you start that are vibe coding or service oriented, with content that you make that you're putting out there, and that you're not going to make any money on content for the first 10 years, but then on the 11th and the 12th year, all of a sudden, boom, you're at freaking Ryan Trahan levels, Mr. Beast levels, Airac levels, right? You're learning how to do better storytelling because you're forcing yourself to make content. Little things like that. You know what I'm saying? Content doesn't work until it works. You get me? Like, content does not work until it works. Then it's freaking nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it's literally insane. So I would do that. Yeah. And then if like education and learning isn't for you, get a sport, dominate at it, and get into a good school off a scholarship, right? And make sure you pick a school, not based on how good the team is or anything. Literally just pick the school that you can be the dumbest and the poorest person there, so that you can just automatically level up. I think some of the biggest cheat codes is like some of the friends that I knew from back in like inner city places across the world. They could have gone anywhere with their sport. Where did they decide to go for their sport? They played on the worst teams in America at an Ivy League. I'm talking football star. Like, one of my closest boys, he was a football star, but he wanted to play on Harvard's football team. He got a scholarship to Harvard. He's not in the NFL right now. And I think 90% of the people that are in college doing sports don't end up in the NFL, especially for football. But he went to Harvard. He studied economics. He got a job in investment banking. He then worked in private equity. Now he's back at school right now. He's at Harvard Business School. But it's just like, bro, that's a come up. So for some of the athletes in here, if we got athletes, if you athletes are watching the VOD, bro, pick a school simply based on how elite the academic and the placement is. Not how good the team. Who cares how good the team is? You're literally only playing for like 4 years. Bro, you're going to be living to your 120. You know what I mean? Don't try to, unless you really are like a dog and you got like, you know, league level talent, which not a lot of people do have. But if you got like league level talent, all right, great. Go to Michigan. Go to Alabama. Go to Duke. You know what I'm saying? Ball out. But if you don't have that level talent and you just really like the sport, bro, do the sport at an Ivy League or do it at a great public institution. You know what I'm saying? It's like some of my friends that are athletes, their biggest come up was simply choosing a school that had the best placement for them as a backup plan if the sport didn't work out, bro. Because why? They were able to go and have the same education as someone else, and they went there for free because of an athletic scholarship. You know what I'm saying? That was a cheat code. That is a cheat code, bro. ATL Jacob, hey, Coin Tactics official. What up, Top Dog Shredlord? Hey, am I getting too deep for y'all on a Friday? We gonna play some games anyway. I'm thinking about playing some Arc Raiders tonight. But I just wanted to let y'all know, man, it's the Shredlord Capital. That's what we doing. Oops. Oh, shoot. Okay, there he is. Anyway, what y'all got up? I feel like I didn't do any of my agenda today. I'm out here dropping bars. Y'all got me fired up today. Chat. I'm just saying, there's no reason why you can't go get what you want in life. There's no reason why you can't go get what you want in life. That's all I'm saying. Like, there's not a thing. And you just got back from work? Great. I'm hoping you save every single dollar of your paycheck. If you don't have bills or anything, put it into a savings account, a high yield savings. Once you have enough saved up in there, put it into index funds and never touch it. And let me tell you something for y'all day traders. Let me show y'all something. We talk about this all the time. If you have $1,000, let's say you're 18. If you have $1,000 and you put $1,000 in every single year, and you were to get the average return of the S&P 500, which is 11%, and you just were to do that simple thing, Guess how much you're going to have when you're 65, which is the average retirement year. Most people think they're going to have, 300,000, 200,000. This is how much you're going to have when you're 65. Blow your minds. Look at this. When you're 65, you will have $1.4 million when you're 65. And that's off of just literally putting $1,000 in a month. Or not a month, a year. A year. Let's say you boosted it up. You started off with only 1,000, but then for some reason after that, you start going crazy. And you can put 5,000 in each year. When you're 65, you're sitting at $6.2 million. Sheesh. But let's boost it up. Let's say you start off with 5,000, but you put 10,000 in every single year. And you're just literally putting it into index fund. There's one thing you buy, VOO. It's literally an index fund. When you're 65, you're sitting at $13 million. But let's say, for example, you keep it in a few more years. One more year. That turned to 14 million. Why? Compounding interest. How is it that 10,000 incremental deposit, as well as patience of leaving your entire lump sum in, generates almost $2 million of returns? It's called compounding magic, a snowball effect. Small things transforming into big things. Do we want to see what this look like when you're like 80? $61 million. When you're 90, $175 million. But Kenny Finance, I'm not going to live to a 90 years old. Well, yeah, you are, right? You're going to eat healthy. You're going to get 10,000 steps. You're going to work out. You're going to praise the Lord. And you're going to have good mental health. You're going to try to live to 90. But it's not really about you. It's not really about you. Because this is what happens when you're 90. Say, for example, you stumble your foot and you fall off a cliff and you're no longer here. RIP. You then can pass down this entire balance to your kids using the step-up basis. This is a secret tax trick that ultra high net worth people use. It's called the step-up basis. Is if you transfer your entire estate to your kids, and it's just a transfer of the ownership and they don't sell it, they get to inherit it tax-free. Zero tax. And then what happens there? They inherit it with zero tax. And while your starting balance, when you started, was $1,000, and you just had a habit of $10,000 invested every year, their starting balance, their day one starting balance, is $175 million. And if they really just held it for 1 year, that $175 million transforms to $195 million. Do you get the picture that I'm trying to paint here, chat? It's freaking awesome! Right? Freaking awesome! Right? This is the reason why, where it's like, why do rich kids exist? Because of patient, disciplined parents and grandparents. People that set things in place where it's like, our family can never touch this estate. You know what I'm saying? This is what it takes. And it's so possible. But here's what's even better. If you build a family, I don't know if there's any parents in here, but if you build like a family where they understand the beauty of compounding and they understand the importance of discipline, they understand the value of a dollar, meaning they're not too spoiled, but then more importantly, they have values, ethics, empathy, to where their wealth doesn't transform them into bad trust fund babies. That's when you can just unlock crazy, dope stuff in the world. Right? A huge generational dream for me. A huge generational dream for me. I already know. By the time I die, I'm gonna have $1 billion portfolio. It's just a fact. I wasn't put in this earth to not do anything like that. Yeah, I'm about to ball, chat. I'm about to go so hard. Right? I'm already gonna be passing down using a step-up basis like $1 billion portfolio to my kids, and I'm gonna live a long life. I'm gonna live until I'm 100 and something. But my generational dream is that if my kids inherit this, they are completely fine leaving it in the system for the next generation. With the exception that will make me so proud when I'm in my grave, if they're like, let's sell half of this after 1 year of ownership so that we get long-term capital gains instead of short-term capital gains. Let's sell half of this and let's put this into a foundation and let's completely level up education in the Philippines. Let's completely get rid of food deserts in the hood. Let's completely get rid of, what is it called? Recidivism. For when people leave the prison system, they go back in like 6 months. Let's make sure that there's workforce development tools for people that were in the prison system. When they leave, they immediately have resources of job training, educational training, certificates, so that when they don't enter back into the prison. Like if one of my kids or my grandkids came to me and they were like, Papa, I have an investment idea that I think is going to drastically change the world. And it's not some dumb app, but instead they're like, I want to completely transform the way how people that leave the prison system get employment opportunities. I'm like, bet. What do you need? Say the number. We're in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be electric. That's a good use of dollars. But you got people that have wealth like this as a family. Guys, they're spending it on trips, clothes, planes, substances, beverages, gambling. I don't want a family like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm making these streams and this YouTube. So that when I pass away, I can put in my will. I want you guys to go to March 6, 2026 and see what my vision was when I was building all of this. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Hey, I forgot to say hi, Devons, but I hope you're doing fantastically well, Top Dog. I hope you had the greatest week of your entire life. Happy Finance Fridays. We getting deep today. Chat, we getting so deep today. I love it, though. I'm having fun. And at least I'm helping at least one person with this. At least one person. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly why Warren Buffett is as old as he is, and he's like still in the game. And then also, here's like a life hack. You don't actually need to retire. Just build something of meaning that you can be involved in still that keeps you intellectually stimulated. I have a huge thesis. And I think if you look at some of the oldest people in the world, the ones that have stayed old the longest have never truly retired. They've been like very intellectually involved in like their passion pursuits. And for Warren Buffett, this is a passion pursuit. Like investing in businesses makes his heart happy. And he's involved very much. Guys, we saw in the annual report for Berkshire Hathaway, it said that he was retiring, but he's still showing up to the office every day as like an executive chairman. So he's still involved. And I think if you want to live a very long life, find an intellectual pursuit or things you care about that you can be involved in for a lifetime. All because you hit 65 doesn't mean you need to stop. Like, just imagine if I stopped at 65. Bro, I would have had $12 million. What if I didn't stop until I was 90? It's $175 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't stop. Just hire people to do the grunt work for you. And just still show up and only be involved in the things that get you the intellectual stimulation you need and you want. So, Am I going to get the chip? What's the chip? Is it the chip that makes you live longer? I would love to. I want to be as long as I can because I want to see what this future stuff is like. Bro, I love those fantasy shows. I want to be the ones that I want to go to the moon and Mars and stuff. We are so close. I think in our lifetime, Elon's going to send some people up there to live up there. I wouldn't mind a little vacation home in Mars. I just need to be able to come back when I want. You know what I'm saying? And I also need to make sure that there's Wi-Fi up there. I can't miss a day on my streams. This is why kicking gambling exists. Bro, I think life was meant for a series of trials. I think a purposeful life is a life that is filled not just of roses and freaking sunshine. I think it's a season of life that has on its path trials and distractions. And I think a purposeful life is having a good wisdom, a sound and good heart, and discipline to avoid those distractions and temptations. That's a purposeful life, I think. Oh, the Neuralink? Heck yeah, put that in my head. JK, I'll put it in one of my friends first. Yeah, that sounds nice, but I trust in God. I don't know about all that just yet. I gotta live on the Brian Johnson protocol. I listened to him speak at the All In conference. The guy seems a little weird. I ain't gonna hold you up. I feel like he's doing a little bit more than what he says on content. You know what I mean? Like, guys, did we know what Warren... I keep bringing everything back to Warren Buffett, but if you look into his diet, bro, this is Warren Buffett's diet. And he's in his 90s. We have no clue if Brian Johnson is going to live as long as Warren Buffett. We have no clue. There's no data. I hope he does. I don't hope any short life on anybody. But this is what Warren Buffett eats, bro. 2,700 calories daily. 5 12-ounce Coca-Colas. A McDonald's breakfast. He has a snack from See's Candy. He's got some Utz potato sticks and some Dairy Queen ice cream. I do not recommend anybody to do this. This is very tailored to Warren Buffett. But you know what I'm saying? He has a quote actually about this. He said, but if somebody told me I would live an extra year if I ate nothing but broccoli and a few other things all my life instead of eating what I like to eat, I would say take the year off the end of my life. Let me eat what I like to eat. This guy's a dog. So I don't think it's the diet. I don't think it's the diet that made Warren Buffett. Chat, I honestly don't think it's the diet that made Warren Buffett as like long-lived as he was. You know what I'm saying? I think it honestly was a peaceful life and his intellectual pursuits that kept his brain very busy. I think something about keeping your brain very busy, happy, low stress, equates to a long life. Someone that's very similar is this guy, Byron Wien. He was our chief strategist at Blackstone. He showed up to work every day. Byron Wien, he was 90 years old. He showed up to work every day. I used to see him in the office every day. Byron Wien at Blackstone. He was like the economic genius at Blackstone. He would eat whatever he wanted, bro. But the thing is, he showed up every day in a suit and tie. He was like the brains of the economic thesis. He looks relatively healthy. And used to put, he has this life lessons thing. 20 life lessons. I want to read this with you guys. Here we go. 20 life lessons. Where is it? How do I see it? Oh, here he goes. In order to read the 20 life lessons from Byron Wien, become a library coach member. I'm trying to sell me a freaking good F off, mate. Here we go. Here we go. Byron Wien's 20 life lessons. You guys are gonna like this. This is actually really good. Here we go. Lock in. No music for this one. Okay. Here are the life lessons I've learned in my first 80 years, which I continue to practice as I enter my 90s. This is what Byron Reed said. Number 1, concentrate on finding a big idea that will make an impact on the people you want to influence. And for him, his population that he cared about was investors. He put out literature that were thoughts on the markets, economics, and businesses, and trends and pattern recognition, and his core readers were investors. So like his purpose every year was putting out these 10 surprises, which are really good. They're public, by the way. You can read those. And so the 10 surprises, which he started doing in the 1980s, has been a defining product. People all over the world are aware of it and identify me with it. What they seem to like about it is that I put myself at risk by going on the record with these events, which I believe are probable, and hold myself accountable at year end. If you want to be successful and live a long, stimulating life, keep yourself at risk intellectually all the time. Guys, it does not get better. Listen to this. If you want to be successful and live a long, stimulating life, keep yourself at risk intellectually all the time. Bro, such a power line. This is the first one. And these 10 surprises, every single year on January 1st, he produced a report that said the 10 surprises, what I think will happen in the market. And he's like, S&P is going to hit this, XYZ is going to hit this economy is going to collapse, this thing is going to go to the moon. Not like individual stocks, but just like his surprises on the world. And then at the end of the year, he had to react to what actually happened and which ones he hit out of those. It's like it used to be the craziest thing in the world, and it was really freaking good. It's really freaking good. And he did that for like 50 years. His track record was really good too, by the way. Number 2, network intensely. Luck plays a big role in life, and there is no better way to increase your luck than by knowing as many people as possible. That's why I said, Juan Money, try to go to a school. If you like, I think school's gonna be a really good outcome for you. Try to go to a university or a school where you're the dumbest person and the poorest person there. That network by default is going to level you up, bro. And it says, nurture your network by sending articles, books, and emails to people to show you're thinking about them. Write op-eds and thought pieces for major publications. Organize discussion groups to bring your thoughtful friends together. Right? Number 3. Also, guys, this is a network. And if you don't know what a network is, get your butts in the Discord. If you don't know how to network, get in the Discord and say, hi, I'm this. I'm trying to do this. Can someone help me? Right? That's the purpose of this. Get your butts in the Discord. Doesn't cost any money. Right? I just love seeing you guys hang out with each other. Now, number 3, when you meet someone new, treat that person as a friend. Assume he or she is a winner and will become a positive force in your life. Most people wait for others to prove their value. Give them the benefit of the doubt from the start. Occasionally, you will be disappointed, but your network will broaden rapidly if you follow this path. All right, number 4, read all the time. Don't just do it because you're curious about something. Read actively. Have a point of view before you start a book or article, and see if what you think is confirmed or refuted by the author. If you do that, you will read faster and comprehend more. I have to do more of that. I gotta do better at reading more books, chat. I gotta do better reading more books. Number 5, get enough sleep. I gotta do better on this too. 7 hours will do until you're 60. 8 hours from 60 to 70, 9 hours thereafter, which might include 8 hours at night and a 1 hour afternoon nap. All right. Number 6, evolve. Ooh. Okay, here we go. Try to think of your life in phases so you can avoid a burnout. Do the numbers crunching early in your phase of your career, which now we might not have to do as much given AI, but try developing concepts later on. Stay at risk throughout the process. Number 7, I love this. Travel extensively. Try to get everywhere before you wear out. Attempt to meet local interesting people where you travel and keep in contact with them throughout your life. See them when you return to a place. Jeez, that's so good. Hey guys, I'm fired up with this. I don't know about y'all, I'm freaking fired up with this. All right, here we go. Number 8, when meeting someone new, try to find out what formative experience occurred in their lives before they were 17. Ooh. Try to find out what a formative experience occurred in their lives before they were 17. It is my belief that some important event in everyone's youth has an influence on everything that occurs afterwards. Number 9, on philanthropy, my approach is to try to relieve pain rather than spread joy. Music, theater, and art museums have many affluent supporters. Give the best parties and can get your social luster in the community, but they don't need you. Hey, chat, listen to this. Listen to this. On philanthropy, my approach is to relieve pain rather than spread joy. Music, theater, and art museums have many uber-rich supporters. They give the best parties and can add to your social class luster in your community, aka clout. But they don't need you. Social service, hospitals, and educational institutions can make the world a better place and help the disadvantaged make their way toward the American dream. This is freaking epic. I love this. All right, number 10. And there's 20 more or 10 more of these. All right, here we go. Number 10. Younger people are naturally insecure and tend to overplay their accomplishments. Most people don't become comfortable with who they are until they're in their 40s. By that time, they can underplay their achievements and become a nicer, more likable person. Try to get to that point as soon as you can. And that point is you underplay your achievements and you're just a nicer, more likable person. Don't sit here and be insecure and overplay your accomplishments. Don't hype up. Be humble, chat. Something to be said about being humble. All right? Number 11. Take the time to give those who work for you a pat on the back when they do good work. Most people are so focused on the next challenge that they fail to thank the people who support them. It is important to do this. It motivates and inspires people and encourages them to perform at a higher level. I agree with that. Number 12. When someone extends a kindness to you, write them a handwritten note, not an email. Handwritten notes make an impact and are not quickly forgotten. Hey, chat, when was the last time y'all wrote somebody a handwritten note? It doesn't cost that much money. I think it's less than $3 to send a handwritten note. Do you guys know when I was recruited for Morgan Stanley my freshman year, I wrote handwritten notes to them, like as a follow-up. My follow-ups were handwritten notes. All right, number 13. At the beginning of every year, think of ways you can do your job better than you have done it ever before. Write them down and look at what you have set out for yourself when that year is over. Holding yourself accountable. There it goes again. The hard way is always the right way. Never take shortcuts except when driving home from the Hamptons. Shortcuts can be construed as sloppiness, which is a career killer. Number 15. Don't try to be better than your competitors. Try to be different. There is always going to be someone smarter than you, but there may not be someone who is more imaginative than you. Okay, he's cooking. This guy is cooking. R.I.P. Byron Wayne. Number 16. When seeking a career as you come out of school or making a job change, always take the job that looks like it will be the most enjoyable. If it pays the most, you're lucky. If it doesn't, take it away. I took a severe pay cut to accept each of the 2 best jobs I've ever had, and they both turned out to be exceptionally rewarding financially. Number 17. Oh, yeah. Here you go, guys. You want this? Here you go. Boom, boom. I'll also put it into the Discord for everybody. Mandatory reads. Weekend reads. Weekend reads for the Shred Lords. I'm tagging everybody. Everyone! You are now tagged. Oh, not Sam. Here we go. Potentially life-changing. You're welcome, Shred Lords. Ta-da! Okay, here we go. Now, there is a perfect job out there for everyone. Most people never find it. Keep looking. The goal of life is to be a happy person, and the right job is essential to that. Guys, you gotta be happy. You gotta be happy. Number 18. When your children are grown, or if you have no children, always find someone younger than you to mentor. It is very satisfying to help someone steer through life's obstacles. And you'll be surprised at how much you will learn in the process of helping someone else. Ooh, wait. Okay, here we go. I'm not done yet, Jet. I'm not done yet. 19. Every year, try to do something you have never done before that is totally out of your comfort zone. It could be running a marathon. It could be attending a conference that interests you on an offbeat subject that will be populated by people very different from your usual circle or associates and friends, or traveling to an obscure destination alone. This will add to the essential process of self-discovery. And guys, you will get so much lore about your personality. Like, say, for example, you just like travel all over the world and you collect a beautiful like local tattoo of like wherever you travel. That'd be so freaking sick. I don't have any tattoos, but I kind of want to have one now. I want to be one of those like cool tattoo guys. Anyway, number 20, I think the most important one. Never retire. If you work forever, you can live forever. I know there is an abundance of biological evidence against this theory, but I'm going with it anyway. What a freaking dog, bro. What a freaking dog. You know what I'm saying? And this is Byron Ween, bro. I was so blessed to see this man in person every day, bro. This is crazy. This is crazy. He was short. He was so short, bro. Definitely work on your back. The guy had a crazy hump back. You know? But this guy was a legend, dude. He was like the smartest person in the market, bro. The smartest person in the market, chat. My freaking dog. Live for, and then he didn't add this one, but I would say never sell your index funds. Literally, like never sell your index funds. Like make it a habit to literally never freaking sell your index funds, so you can pass it down to your kids, bro. And then say you live to 100. If you live to 100, you putting $10,000 in every single year can get you $500 million you can pass to your kids. Sheesh. Anyway, I need to read a 10K today. What 10K should I read today? Oh, I want to read, let's go on my watch list. I like a 10K a day because it forces me to learn about a new business. What's that competitor to FTAI? The air equipment leasing? This one. Yeah, we looked at Mercado Libre. We actually bought Mercado Libre. Somebody pitched it. Yeah, we actually bought Mercado Libre. Okay, Willis Lease Finance Corporation. In the last year, kind of like, last 5 years, a little bit of a dip. I wonder. So this business leases aircrafts and aircraft equipment. This is how I look at 10Ks, guys. I go to table of contents. First part, business. In this right here, you can understand what the business does. Super easy. So they are a leading lessor and servicer of commercial aircraft and aircraft engines. Our principal business is to build value for our shareholders by, here we go. That's why I like reading 10Ks instead of reading the news, because you can learn everything you can about a business and industry. Our principal business objective is to, Hargo Ben, you just missed it. Oh, bro. I'm not joking when I say this, and I don't need the watch time. You should rewatch the start of today's stream. We went deep today, bro. Not commercially. Soulfully. We went deep into soul today, Hargo Ben. Even just watching the last 30 minutes, I think it's very much worth your time. I think it's very much worth your time, brother. And you don't have to take my word from it. You can ask anybody else in the chat. I think it was well worth it. Anyway. Our principal business objective is to build value for our shareholders by acquiring commercial aircraft and engines and managing those assets in order to provide a return on investment, primarily through lease rent and maintenance reserve revenues, as well as through management fees earned for managing assets owned by other parties. They had $2.6 billion of equipment held in their operating lease portfolio, $184 million in notes receivable, $31 million of maintenance rights, meaning they have the right to go provide maintenance. Kind of like a backlog a little bit. And then $22 million in investments of sale type leases, which represents 354 engines, 16 aircraft, one marine vessel. These are some of their subsidiaries. They have offices in Coconut Creek, Florida. You see? And then literally just from that, now I know what this business does. And then the lease-related operations. Their strategy is to lease aircrafts and aircraft engines and provide related services to a diversified group of commercial aircraft operators and maintenance, repair, and MRO companies worldwide. All right? My question is, like, if there's any customer concentration, but their investor presentation going to give it to that? The revenue from their leasing and related operations report was 95% of their total revenue. So this is what matters then. Everything else doesn't really matter. I like this because they also opine on the demand in the industry. You know what I'm saying, chat? They're also talking on like what's happening broadly in the industry. Guys, it's literally like 10Ks are gold mines, and they're literally books on a business. Historically, commercial aircraft operators owned rather than leased their engines. As engines become more powerful and technically sophisticated, they have also become more expensive to acquire and maintain. In part due to cash constraints on commercial aircraft operators and the costs associated with engine ownership, commercial aircraft operators have become more cost conscious and now utilize operating leases for a portion of their spare engines. Engine leasing is a specialized business that has evolved into a discrete sector of the commercial aviation market. So participants need access to capital as well as specific technical knowledge. So you could potentially also find a business that does like the financing to companies like this to then go buy these engines to lease them out. So I think there's like niche private lenders that do this. Growth in the spare engine leasing industry depended on two fundamental drivers: the number of commercial aircraft and therefore engines in the market, and then number two, the portion of engines that are leased rather than owned. And then here's those drivers there. Okay. I'm just showing you guys an example. I know about this market, but this is an example. If you never knew anything about the market, you can read everything here. Everything here. Now let's go to the top and let's look at financials. And the table of contents always has, if you want to understand management's commentary on like what happened to their business, this is a good thing to talk about what happened to their business. Like they're legally obligated to give their commentary on what happened in the last year, as well as give their thoughts around like competitive dynamics, regulatory policies, accounting changes, little things like this. Like it's like critical to read these kind of things. And it takes max 20, 30 minutes to read all this stuff. Max, right? All right. Now let's go to financial statements, supplemental data. Okay, look at all these. Ignore all this, ignore all this. Show me the financials. The financials are the blue and white tables. All right, here we go. Immediately, I'm looking at cash. We got about 9 billion in cash, or 9 billion in cash, right? That's in thousands. No, 9 million in cash. They don't have that much cash. Restricted cash is 123 million. They have 2.6 billion in equipment held for operating lease. These are all their engines in the inventory. Their maintenance rights, 31 million in maintenance rights. Equipment that they hold for sale. This has jumped up a lot. So you got to ask yourself, is the business model pivoting to more aftermarket sales? This investments, I don't know what this is. Like, what are they investing in? Property and equipment, this includes like their warehouses, their storage areas, because they need to have a lot of warehouses to like store these engines. All right, but this is good. By 500 million, they've increased the amount of like equipment available to be leased out, which is their main revenue driver, by 500 million. That's growing. That's good. All right, liabilities. The business is sitting on a lot of debt. Maintenance reserves. Unearned revenue. That means that they were paid, that they haven't done it yet. Okay. Let's go to the revenue. All right. Lease revenue is growing. Maintenance revenue is growing like crazy. We like to see that. Spare part and equipment sales also growing. Granted, this is like old data. We need like more recent data, but tight. Still good. Still good. No crazy cost. And they're very profitable, right? And this business, in terms of like operating income, does almost 150 million operating income on 550. So right then and there, they're doing 20% plus EBIT margins. That's pretty solid. I like it. Now, I would have read that across literally all of them over the lifespan of their like over the last like 10 years, just to see if there was like a pattern. Because if you read that and you read that 10 times for every single year, you start to develop patterns on a particular business. And you can then pinpoint that like, oh, okay, this company is like going place. And then you build that pattern and you try to identify whether or not the current price of the stock reflects the pattern that you've read. Like, keep in mind, the stock is being moved by some people that haven't read enough about the business over the long term, right? Like, the stock right now is being punished by what's happening in Iran. But this could be a business that is literally expanding their maintenance revenue, their equipment lease, all types of things. Granted, this is probably a business that is likely highly sensitive to industrial and oil prices, so be very mindful of that. I'm not saying buy the dip on this business, but this illustrated an example of like reading a 10K of something like this, but reading all the historical ones, or wink, wink, getting AI to do it for you, to like summarize most of it. This just gives you, bro, it gives you such a good picture around like what's happening with a business, right? I can then go to Gemini. Let me go to Gemini for you. Let me go to Gemini. And what's the ticker on this? WLFC. Yeah, WLFC. WLFC. And I were to tell Gemini, summarize the key trends and financials and operating performance management commentary over the last 10 years for WLFC stock, the aircraft engine leasing business. Check this out, chat. Right now, my AI engine is reading the last 10 years of 10Ks for me. So here's the story. They have undergone a significant transformation over the last decade, evolving from a traditional leaser into a vertically integrated aviation solution provider. Over the last 10 years, WLFC has demonstrated resilient recovery following the 2019 pandemic. Revenue growth. Revenue more than doubled from 200 million to 600 million in 2024. Profitability. Net income saw volatility dipping to a low in 2021 during the height of the aviation industry downturn before surging to 110 million. Asset expansion. The company's assets grown from 1.3 billion to 3.3 billion. Book value. Shareholders' equity and book value per share has doubled. Key strategic trends. Management transitioned the business model beyond just leasing to include asset management, which is the consulting business, as well as Willis Aero, which is their part sales. allowing the company to extract value at every stage of an engine's life cycle. They realize that they can't just make money from leasing. They need to make money on asset management, and they need to make money by selling actual engines. Portfolio modernization. They focus on traditionalist fleet towards new technology, engines that power modern and narrow-body aircrafts, ensuring long-term demand from airlines seeking fuel efficiency. Good. Because no one wants to lease engines that are old and crappy and not fuel efficient. So they've been modernizing their portfolio. Post-pandemic recovery. Management commentary in recent years has highlighted the unprecedented demand for spare engines as airlines face supply delays for new parts and engines, creating a favorable high utilization environment for WLFC. This is OD. And then we can dive even deeper. Give me the historical trends on their engine inventory utilization rate. Because a needle moving thing for this kind of business is like with their inventory, how much of the engines that they have are actually leased out collecting cash flow. Boom! Y'all got me cooking. Cook, can you finance cook? What we got? Hey, you out of here? Hey, love you, bro. Have a great night, Top Dog. All right, here we go. Willis Lease Finance Corp tracks its portfolio utilization as a primary indicator of asset deployment and demand. Historically, this metric has fluctuated between the low 80% range during market downturns to the high 80s range. So recent utilization has low-key been... So third quarter 2025, 86%, improvement from last year. And then second quarter, they went crazy at 88.3%, recovering sharply from a year-end dip in 2024. And then 2021, utilization was 86%, up from 77% in 2024. So utilization has been going up and improving. Historical context, pre-pandemic and recovery. Historically, WLFC aims to be a steady state utilization rate in the mid to high 80s. And during the 2020 to 2021 pandemic, utilization dipped as global flight hours collapsed, but it has steadily climbed as narrow-body aircrafts return to high-frequency service. Current driver. Management has noted that the timely deployment of recently acquired engines as a resurging market are the primary catalysts for the recent jump towards 90% utilization. And then AI gives me other questions that I could be asking, like what's the average age of their engine portfolio? How do maintenance reserves impact their profitability? What percentage of their fleets in tech now that when I see all this? Bro, that's why I'm saying this is the greatest time in the entire world. Let me ask all, I want to ask all these questions. Answer them all, Gemini. Answer them all, Gemini. This is good goop right here, chat. I've gotten smarter today. And more inspired because of Byron Ween. We didn't do anything on my agenda. I was supposed to have a whole March Madness thing of like Chat Capital portfolio. And a quick hint on that, we're probably gonna do it next week. We're actually trimming the portfolio down. I'm gonna force us to only have 5 companies max in Chat Capital. That's gonna be crazy. 5 companies max. So we can have hyper concentration. We're not about to become an index fund. So what that means is the companies that we've already invested in, we're making them go head to head against each other. So it's gonna require them to like, we're gonna have to pick between like 2 names or three names and filter the portfolio down to max 5 companies. And every time we want to add a new one, we have to compare it to our existing 5 companies to see does it make sense for us to reinvest into our existing portfolio or buy a net new business. And that's something that I'm reading here and learning in this book is that like Charlie Munger says this, but it's like you already have a yardstick if you already have a portfolio. And the yardstick is very simple. Your current investment's performance. So you need to ask yourself, does a net new investment outperform your current investment? And that's what you have to ask. That's the yardstick. And if it doesn't, ignore it. Reinvest into your current companies. So I'm going to force us to have like 4 to 5 companies max in the portfolio. So I don't know if AW's still listening, but like that's like a key change happening in the Chat Capital. All right. Okay. Anyway, so their portfolio. So 50% of their portfolio is in like these future engines or like next gen engines, like the Leap and the GTF. We can see who manufactures these. They probably crush it. I think GE. I think GE does a lot of those, or Breyer or something like that. No, not GE. They've bought 30 new engines, legacy versus new tech. While the company still holds a significant number of mature engines, which are older on average, these are currently seeking extended operational lives due to supply chain delays for new aircrafts. And for industry context, top-tier aircraft lessors typically maintain an average fleet age of 4 to 8 years, whereas the global commercial fleet average has risen to approximately 15 years in 2025 due to that's low-key not that. That's not low-key not good. Like, for flight safety-wise. Like, the average engine is 15 years old when historically it's like 4 to 8. There's an opportunity there. I like this. I like this. I like this. You see, this is building an investment thesis here. You start with the 10K, you use AI, you dig deeper and deeper and deeper. Great. Now, put together a Tiger Cub, Allen Meckham, Berkshire style investment memo on this business. Should be in depth and have clear points of views around the long-term thesis, attractiveness of the entry price today, and expected catalyst. And now, AI, write me an investment thesis. I'm very curious how they're doing that. How's Coupang been doing? I think we're having like insane entry points for Coupang. Hold on. Yeah. Coupang's still pooping the bed. All right, down 18%. Boom, boom. Down 50%. Yeah, I might load up on Coupang soon. All right, here we go. Investment thesis. A compounder in a scarcity cycle. They're a preeminent toll bridge. Ooh, here we go. So AI calls this a preeminent toll bridge in the commercial aviation sector. While airlines face volatile fuel costs and aircraft manufacturers struggle with production backlogs, WLFC owns the most critical high-value component of the plane, which is the engine. The long-term thesis rests on structural scarcity. In 2026, the global aviation market is characterized by a new tech engine shortage of LEAPs and GTFs and a service life extension of legacy engines, CFM56s, and WLFC is uniquely positioned to extract rent from both cohorts. By evolving from a pure leaser into a vertically integrated manager, providing parts, maintenance, and leasing, they have a moat that allows it to capture margin across the entire 25-year engine life cycle. Ooh, this is good goop. All right. Asset essentiality. An aircraft can sit idle. An engine cannot. So WLFC's portfolio of 350 engines represents the picks and shovels of global flight. Vertical integration. They're doing asset management and that. This reduces the residual value risk. The Achilles heel of leasing, and it boosts return on equity, which climbed to 17.7% in 2024. That's good. Management and capital allocation. Led by the Willis family, still family-owned, the company maintains a long-term owner-operator mindset. They aggressively repurchased shares in the 2020-2022 downturn and pivoted capital towards new tech engines just as demand spiked in 2024 to 2025. I like that. All right, the valuation, they're trading at a 10 times PE, price to book of 2 times. For a business, Jack's gonna like that, PB of 2 times. For a business growing revenue at high double digits with 20% net profit margin, this valuation suggests that the market is treating WLFC as a cyclical financial company rather than a high growth infrastructure play. and their intrinsic value, with a book value per share of $76 and an earnings of 15.9, their current price represents a reasonable multiplier. Okay, I'm going to talk about those multiples. These things are kind of always screwed. I don't know what their backup data is. Expected catalyst. Normalization of new tech maintenance. As the LEAP and GTF engines into their first major shop visit cycles in 2026 and 2027, demand for their spare lease pool will hit a structural peak. Meaning, guys, when a lot of the LEAP and GTF engines need to be taken out of current airplanes and sent into maintenance and repair, the airlines don't want to be left with no engine. WLFC has, or Willis Leasing has, inventory of like spare LEAPs and GTFs that they can like insert into them while they get maintained. Sustained buybacks. Historically, management uses excess cash to shrink the share count, with 2024 net income exceeding $108 million. A renewed buyback program could significantly accretive to EPS. Institutional re-rating. As Willis Leasing continues to prove its vertical integration model works through the cycle, we expect a shift in valuation toward the aerospace service companies 15 to 18 times rather than standard lessors. Ooh. It's an all-weather business. If the economy is strong, flight hours rise and leasing demand spikes. If the economy is weak, airlines defer new plane purchases and lease spare engines to keep existing fleets flying. I like this one. I don't know what you guys think. I like this one. I like this one, chat. Granted, my AI is biased. Anything that I tell it to look into is going to give me a good thesis. Why? Because it's just built like that, dogs. It just built like that, dogs. Anyway, that is a thesis. What else is happening in the world? What else is happening in the world? I don't want fear. I want data. I don't want fear, chat. I want data. Okay. We got hooked on fast free shipping. Now retailers are taking it away. What the heck? Pixar needs its next hit franchise. Can its reluctant leader deliver? I want to see that Pixar movie that came out today. What is it called? Goopers? No. Hoppers? Hoopers? Hoppers? I want to see that. It seems funny. All right. The Burger King president who took a bite out of McDonald's. That guy's a jerk. The Burger King CEO did like a diss to the McDonald's CEO thing. Cool, Webby, what up, top dog, shred lord? How can we profit from high oil prices? Buying index funds and never freaking selling, brother. Honestly, I have no clue. I'm not really an oil and gas type of guy, and I'm definitely not a wartime type of guy. So my playbook, if you have cash, wait patiently, and when the time is right, dump into index funds, brother. Dump into index funds. Like, this is creating a very amazing entry point. Because if you're trying to buy oil to capitalize on the rising of oil prices, you don't know when it's going to stop. So if you do get a gain, it's likely going to be a short-term capital gain. So you have to pay taxes on that gain. And then you need to re-enter into something that's low. And you got to like figure out which one to re-enter into. And it just creates a whole different active trading bucket that, like, if you're not doing this every second of the day, guys, it's difficult. I think it's really difficult, guys. So just be careful on that. Versus buying an index fund, holding it for years, you ain't got to worry about nothing. You ain't got to worry about nothing, Cool Webby. Hey, Cool Webby, you out there in Palm Beach, man. Palm Beach Prince. You can buy an index fund, sit on the water, sit on a boat, and let your stuff compound over a very long time. All right, how the dash to collect tariff refunds will play out. Okay. Saks Fifth is shrinking to half the number of stores in its bankruptcy. Ooh, let's see Saks Fifth. Saks Fifth, 10K. What is this? Okay, here we go. Saks Fifth Company. Saks Company. Saks. There we go. Saks Global. Investors. Okay, hold on. Let me go here. Oh, they're going through a bankruptcy process. So they're not doing any filings right now. Ooh, They're chalk, chat. They're chalk. Ouch. Anyway, but they're cutting half their stores. No one's shopping there anymore. And Kaoshi and Polymarket have both $20 billion valuations. I want to see those things go to zero. If I were really a short seller, I would short those things if they're public. Anyway, Axel Springer strikes $770 million deal. Servicer to buy day one for $2.5 billion. Toyota affiliated Denso makes takeover bid for chip manufacturer Rome. Okay. U.S. retail sales lagged in January. That's a misleading bucket because they're probably comparing it to December in the fourth quarter, right? Don't believe all the headlines, guys. In-store investments, part of the turnaround strategy. Retail broadly just sucks right now. At least right now. I'm not a big buyer of like retail like right now. Anyway. Hey, Boogie, you in here? Where you at, Boogie? I learned enough for today. I think I've earned the right to play Arc Raiders. Hold on, let me get my water and my phone. We're gonna text Boogie. I think I can now play Arc Raiders.
Let's be real about it. I mean, I don't really care about how you feel about it. I mean, I don't even really have a real hobby.
Where they at? Where they at?
And I still
Walk on, shred dogs.
Let's be real about it. I mean, I don't really care about how you feel about it. I mean, I don't even really have a real hobby. It's not a real problem. And
My boy Boogie at, man.
I need $1 billion. Yeah, I've been in the
Bet.
I'm not one you see around thinking about.
My boy Boogie's like, I'm gonna go get dinner, but I'll be back later. Boy, talking about, I'm gonna go get dinner. Boy. I look, you gotta go get dinner too. We out here hustling. Chat. That's what we out here doing, Top Dog Shred Lords. Anyway, chat. Daily deposits, chat. I'm gonna put y'all on game, man. I'm gonna put y'all on game, chat. I'm gonna read y'all. Byron Reed in his first thing. He said, if you want to be successful and live a long, stimulating life, keep yourself at risk intellectually all the time. We looked at this together. You see this? If you want to be successful and live a long, stimulating life, keep yourself at risk intellectually all the time. That's what we doing here. That's the point of Check Album. That's the point of these streams. Intellectual commitment every day. And we just completed day 65. That means 300 days to go for a full year of straight growth. And we bodying everything that life tosses in our way. So shout out to everybody that joined the stream. I'm loving the support. My boy Garrett, Florida man, is here. And I'm just thankful that you guys got motion and you guys are working on things, and I'm just able to be part of your journey in that. Thank you for your time, your support, your questions, your comments, your likes, your subscriptions. I appreciate all that. Wanna know why? Because it keeps me going. Keeps me going, all right? Don't be scared about what's happening out there in the market or in the world. Scared money don't make no money around here. But just keep yourself at risk intellectually. That's all I got to say, chat. Keep yourself at risk intellectually. Whether that's reading, whether that's investing. My personal favorite is investing. You can do whatever you want. Because I want to see all y'all make $1 billion, all right? So take care of yourselves. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially. Take care of your camp. And be very diligent in who you let in. And most importantly, take care of yourselves. All right? We got a long journey ahead of us. We ain't short-term earnings, boys. We making long-term plays. We in this for the billions. We're in it for the compounding. We're solving for the step-up basis. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep cooking. I appreciate y'all. Keep rocking. I'm gonna go play some Arc Raiders tonight after I get some food. And chill out with my homeboys. We're gonna have some finance bros play video games. But much love to y'all. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Peace and love. And I catch you, Shred Lords Lily, back here tomorrow, baby. We're going to source some businesses tomorrow. Let's freaking rock. All right, Shred Lords? Dale, 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 ahora. Peace.